Hi, my name is Angela Mitchell, and this is Soul Conversations. And today we're going to be talking about how my house is haunted and 5 reasons why spirit might be at your home. First things first, if you find this topic interesting, anything to do with spirituality or the paranormal interesting, please hit subscribe and also hit the bell button so that you get notified when I'm live. So have you ever had that feeling that somebody is watching you when there is no one around? Or do you often find things around the house that move away from where you left them? Does strange noise keep you up at night? So have you sometimes even noticed temperature changes in your home? Well, these are all signs that you might have spirit activity. Some people might see spirit when they're trying to sleep. Some people might, hear voices or noises. You might be dreaming consistently about somebody, and you don't know who they are. So we've all heard stories of ghosts and demons possessing homes and frightening people. But for many of us, we often dismiss this just as stories, or we dismiss this as just, as having a reasonable explanation for it. I want to take you through some logical and practical things that you can do, and perhaps even reasons why there may be spirit activity at home. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have about 40 years of experience understanding and working with spirits. Over the years, I've come to understand their motivations, and been honored enough to provide messages of comfort and healing to their loved ones. And when I first saw spirit, I was about 9 years old. That kind of tells you how old I am. It's evolved over the years from just seeing them manifesting in front of me to hearing, sensing, feeling, and knowing more about them, as to why they come forward, messages that they have for their loved ones. Now, let's go through some of the unexplained stuff that you might be experiencing in your home. So this might be help you understand, and also perhaps then then you could probably possibly think about, oh God, okay, is there a spirit in my house? Okay, things that maybe you've just been ignoring. And this is not to scare anybody, and spirit's certainly not going to be jumping out of the screen at you. All right. So the unexplained stuff that you might have at home is things moving around, things falling off the counter, like photos or glasses or anything of that sort. Hi, Mark, how are you? And seeing somebody standing at the end of the bed, for example, that's another thing. And children often speak about this. They always say, I can see. I saw a little boy, or saw this man at the end of my bed, or I woke up and I suddenly saw this person in front of me, and it's and these are all kind of common things that even as children we might have experienced ourselves. Now, children do see spirit more clearly than us, because they have no filter. They don't have any preconceived notions about spirits, and they don't have any of that sort of negativity. They just see. They do sort of speak their mind. They see this. They'll say what they see, and sometimes obviously that the invisible friends thing comes in as well, and of course, you have a opportunity to either try to engage with them and try to understand what they are seeing, and try to try to help and understand, or a lot of people do get very scared. Okay. Now, hearing sounds, especially something like, a lot of people tell me when they are trying to explain how I have spirit activity at home, they'll say, well, I heard this coin drop, like on the floor, a hard floor. Obviously, you're not going to hear it if you drop on a carpet. But it's sort of that sound of the coin dropping, or something a tap or a scratch, or I mean, I think I remember somebody saying they heard like a shoe on the wooden floor, those sort of things. So sounds that you cannot explain. Just the other day, I was downstairs probably about 11:30, 11:45 p.m. and with my husband and no one else in the house. We don't have any pets, and we heard like a bang, and then he rushed upstairs, and there was nothing on the floor, nothing, absolutely nothing. And we have, we got good insulation, so we're not going to hear the neighbors. So we couldn't quite explain what it was. Some people also hear, see sometimes like, oh, the taps, I keep turning off the taps and the taps keep turning on, for example. So water running without, if you don't have any problems with the tap and then suddenly it happens, that's another thing to note. Also, another common thing that people talk about is when you see the TV or the radio being turned on and off. It happened to me quite a few times a couple of years ago, actually, where I turned off the TV and then next thing you know, I turned it off, turn on again, and then turn it off, turn on, so it was quite strange. It kept happening all the time, but never at another time. So that's another thing to take note. Oh, hi, Claire. Hi, how are you? Please do share out the link to this video because the other one had a problem. So I know it was like I really started this broadcast, so I didn't want to take too much, too much time to come back on, because I know people were waiting for this. So I just want to make sure that that everyone. Hold on, I think people are trying to get on this broadcast. Okay. Okay. it's just terrible when you shared out the links, and then things go topsy turvy. Okay, let me just get that done. Okay, right. Okay, people are just asking about where are you, Angela? Where are you? Okay. Okay, right. I think I got them back. Okay, back. Okay, please do share out the link. Okay, so the other thing is lights turning on and off as well. That's really very common. When and I remember doing a paranormal investigation with my friend here, Mark, a couple of years ago in a big venue, and we were all up on this in this community hall on a stage, and there was no one in the other room, and the lights had been turned off, and we were all set in darkness, and then suddenly the lights turned on in the other room, and it's not a sensor light or anything in that room. So that was quite interesting evidence to see spirit being able to do that. But you might find that you turned off the lights and then and then it turns on. That's another indicator, but if it happens once and it never happened again, then that's not compelling enough. But then if it keeps happening at a certain time or a certain at a certain a sequence, so it happens over 3 days or so on, it's very interesting, very compelling. Also, for example, being able to see. Now, one of my experiences was I was in this very, very old building in Essex in England, where I was, it's a place where you go to like a residential psychic mediumship exploration sort of place. And I was washing my face. So I had my face in the sink and I had soap over it and I was just washing my face when I could see myself in the mirror. So that was quite freaky. I could see myself in the mirror and I then saw somebody else in that mirror, so I was facing the mirror and I had somebody, and mind you, all this was happening whilst I had my face in the sink. So that was I was really like, oh my God, what's going on? And then I looked up and then there was nothing. And then I I looked again, and then I had a flash of somebody in the bathroom with me, and yeah, so that was a bit hello boy. Yeah, you know, I'm a medium, but you know, when you suddenly see a face peering behind you, it is a bit scary. Um, and I remember being in a hotel room, and I can't remember exactly where, but I remember what happened in this room, and I suddenly had this really strong smell of cigar. And I think it was for a wedding somewhere south of England, and I had this really strong smell of cigar, and I thought, oh, hold on a minute, these rooms are non-smoking, you know, so this isn't on. And then I looked around, all the windows were closed, and there wasn't anyone around, and you know, I was, and there were no balconies either, so either this person was smoking inside the room, but there were smoke alarms. So I didn't think, you know, it would definitely would have a smoke alarm would have freaked out. Anyway, so I thought, okay, that's interesting. And then later that day, when I was coming back to the room, I noticed the plaque on the just above the door, and I looked up, and it was the name of a man's name. And later, walking around in the corridor the next day, and I noticed there was a picture of this man, and it was a portrait of him, and he was smoking a cigar, and it was the name of the man that was that room was named after. So I thought, like, wow, this is amazing. I mean, he didn't do anything to me. It was just like, wow, okay, this, you know, cigar smoke is not something that I like. So it was a bit annoying. But that was an interesting experience as well. So you might, you know, there might be times where if you have unexplained smells around the house, like scent, or, you know, cigar or cigarette smoke, or a perfume, or well, you know, sometimes I have all sorts of people drop by my house in, you know, in spirit, and there are times where they can be quite stinky as well. So I had a homeless spirit that came, you know, he was a homeless man, and I was like, whoa, this smells weird. And then he gave me this awareness that he had been homeless, etc. So, you know, if you have unexplained smells in the house, then that's another interesting you know, experience to note. Now, the other thing that is very, very obvious, and a lot of people will be able to put their hands up and say, yes, this happened, because pets acting strangely. You know, pets acting strangely is very, very common. I'm sure a lot of you would be able to say that you'd have, if you had a dog or a cat, there are points where times where they would, you know, sit at one corner and bark, or they might go and they have a particular chair that they would always curl up in, or they act really weirdly. A cat might suddenly get very aggressive towards the chair, or a dog would wander off into the corridor and start barking at nothing. So animals, like children, have no filter. They don't have judgment. They don't they won't be you know, sort of judging you based on what they don't have all of those information that we have. Oops, okay, I'm just checking to see. I see my who is online at the moment. I can see Ida. Hi, Ida. How are you doing? It's wonderful to have you join us, as well as Claire and Mark. So if you are watching, please make sure that you say hello, because I'd love to hear from you. I've just realized that my Wi-Fi might not be fantastic at the moment, so I'm just trying to figure out where my Wi-Fi. This is like, you know, I planned this and everything's just going topsy-turvy. Oh my goodness, I'm not very unorganized, you know, like this. So this is a bit yeah, this is a bit strange. Oh dear, the problem is I'm live. I can't actually just dip in and dip out, can I, you know? Hold on. Right. Yes, so these are some of the things that you might notice at home. And and some would see this as being scary, and um like, oh my god, like, does this mean that I'm going to be possessed and all that stuff? But I just think that, that I'm going to go through some of the reasons why you have spirit in your house. And I suppose when you live in a house, you have that sense of ownership, don't you? You feel like, this is my house. I don't want spirit. But some I do think that we don't really have a choice in that sense, because we have to understand the timeline leading to you owning that house. So let's think about the 5 reasons why spirit may be in your house. Okay. um right. Land. Okay, let's go back to land. What was there before? What was there before? What happened to that land before your house? So imagine you looking at your space, your house or your office or wherever. Just take out your house, take all the houses away. Okay, take all the development away, and let's strip down to the land. What has that land seen from the beginning of time? Was there had there been any historical events that might have seen some tragedy or people pass away? Was there some kind of famine or strife? What happened on that land? And sometimes it's very interesting when you go back into the sort of to your local councils, and you go through your land deeds, and you find out, wow, that happened before. Like, there was this was reclaimed land, and this happened at this time. So we have to remember that spirits have no timeline, that they can be from any time in so which means that you can go back to a very, 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 very long time. I have been at during paranormal investigations. I have seen I remember being in, where was that, um oh god, I think, yeah, somewhere in Essex, actually, I believe, where I saw a musketeer. Hope I'm saying it right. A musketeer. And I was thinking to myself, I said, oh my god, this is weird, like, I must be making it up. And later, when it was in a hotel, and had a lot of history in that place. And then I was speaking to someone, and they said, oh yeah, because we had this we had Thomas Cromwell and the Musketeers, etc., in this place. And I was going like, wow, okay. So that was interesting. That's really, really going back, like, God knows how many centuries. So there is no specific deadline or limit as to when and how spirit will come in contact with you. So the land, was that land, for example, an old church? Was there a graveyard that was reclaimed, and so on? I mean, as humanity progresses, as we progress as humans, we will be finding ways to develop and to expand, and sometimes, just like for example, the a highway is being built in the UK now, and they've uncovered this whole big land where there have been all these bones of people that were buried there. And now that highway is now going to be built on a land where there were people were buried or died. So that land will not just be a highway. However, there will be also links to those people who passed. So could it be for an old house, for example? Like, if your house, what if a house had burned down or been demolished, and there had been something had happened in that house, and then they rebuilt a new house in which you are living in? So there is a lot of links to the land. So let's not forget the land. Now, what happened, for example, if you've moved into the house? What happened before in the house? You know, was there somebody that was really ill that passed? Was there an older person? Was there a tragic event? Spirits are not actually attached, they're not hovering in your house. But what happens is, like when we pass, spirits have, they will pick areas where they have attachment. You know, I saw a spirit here. There was a little Bangladeshi gentleman that I woke up one day. I was very ill, so I was working full time, just going back a couple of years in this house, and I was very ill, so I had taken time off, and I was in bed alone in the house. And I turned towards the door, and I suddenly saw this man just standing there, you know. And I'm kid you not, it looked, he was real, like he was like a human being. So I was going like, oh my goodness, who are you? And, you know, he didn't speak, and he had this sort of, I could see, when I see spirit, when they manifest in their full, you know, in the full sort of physical body, it's almost like watching an extra sharp TV screen. You know, when you see your something on TV, and it's extra sharp, and you can see it's so vivid. It's absolutely so vivid. So it's like in the HD, and you can see the sweat, you can see the pores, but there's a sort of translucency to him. So then I knew he was spirit. So I said, like, hello, like, what are you doing here? I am not in the mood to connect with you. I don't know who you are. Now, this is before I became a medium. So I wasn't in, you know, I was just like, oh, just get out of here. It's so impatient with him. Anyway, so he looked, he was scared of me more than I was scared of him. He was like, oh my God, who is she? What is she doing? So it almost felt like as if he thought I was the ghost. That was so funny. And you know, and I literally just said to him, I said, okay, just go. But then he gave me an awareness before he left, and that was that he had a connection to the house, and he was just visiting, and he did not expect me at that time. So what do? I funny enough, I obviously told my husband, and then he had a chat with one of the neighbors, and she said, well, you know what, years before you moved in, the house was rented out. It had went through a long time, a transition of people renting the house for many years. And I remember, because she lived here like from the very beginning when this house was built. Yeah, I remember somebody that of that description that might have worked in one, you know, in come over from Bangladesh in probably in the 60s or 70s, and had and lived in this house. Now, once I knew that information, and I connected with him again, and then I understood from him that this house gave him a lot of happiness. He came to Bangladesh and lived here, and, you know, although his past has gone back to spirit, he had really good memories in here, and that's why he came. You know, he comes to the house to just sort of remember the good times, because in his timeline, when spirit visit, they're still in the timeline of when they existed. So he wasn't really involved with my life, and therefore that's why I saw him at a time where he knew, you know, that the house would be empty. So that was really, really interesting for me. And I thought, all right, okay. Then I said to him, well, you know, come visit whenever you want. Just don't come and bother me and try to wake me up when I'm sick. So again, this is, you know, he was not malicious in any way, but he was just coming to visit. You know, and this land, for example, where my house, this house. So yeah, so we had all these different tenants. People had lived before. I even had this an impression of this gentleman that I was telling my husband. He said, I feel there was this man, and he really knew how to do like little details, and like making small like, you know, miniature toys or something like that, because there's something something about him. And then he was saying, well, actually, that's quite funny because I think the guy that lived before the other householder, they found items belonging to somebody who used to do model trains or something like that, very intricate, small little pieces. So I was thinking, oh right, okay, so he's obviously coming to visit in that way as well. So I guess this is for me this is a house that is that holds a lot of good memories for spirit. So as far as I'm concerned, as long as they don't bother me, that I don't really get. Okay. If someone had passed, do say hello if you're watching. I can see quite a few of you guys are watching. Please say hello, and if you have any questions, please post it as a comment so I can see your comments and answer any questions. It's quite funny because I got somebody's called themselves spooky. I like that. I love it. Okay. Now the other reason why you might have spirit in your house or you're detecting spirit activity would be because somebody in your house has spiritual ability. Somebody in your house is able to see them. They're attracted by the fact that you can see and you can hear or see or you can feel them. So imagine when as spirit that you are in a sort of darkness, so just imagine, let's put ourselves in their position. So imagine that you're driving the countryside and it's gone dark and your car breaks down, your mobile phone is out of charge and there's no way, you don't know where you are, you're a bit lost, and while you're there in the middle of nowhere, you see a light in the field further up. So what are you going to do? Because you feel like you're a bit vulnerable. It's very dark. I don't know where I am. I need to get help. I want to communicate with the outside world. So what do? You obviously, you would go towards the light. Now, this is, and you want to get help. You want to make connections, right? So you will do everything. You'd probably go to the house and go to bang on the doors, whatever. Okay, so trying to get that communication and try to get help. Now, people with psychic and mediumship abilities or any kind of, just as you don't even have to be a medium or a psychic, but anyone has that ability, that awareness that you can feel or sense. It's almost like, imagine your aura is like a traffic signal. So when you have sort of spirit openness, awareness, you have some sort of gift, imagine that you got a little green light that's sort of going off. Okay, and when we're sad, angry, and that aura turns very red and dark, and then spirit kind of know, okay, I'll back off. Okay, and which is why sometimes when you're really deep in grief, it's quite difficult for spirits to come close to you, because they know that, oh God, if I go close to them, it's going to make it even worse. So when they see that green light, then they're going to try to your aura, and then go like, okay, I want to make connections. This person can see me. Now, another thing we have to consider is that spirits are like human beings. We've got some who are downright hilarious. You got the absolutely miserable people. You've got the ones who just have a cheeky sense of humor. You got the ones who are very intense and overwhelming, don't have any boundaries. Some that can be very, very negative. We have human beings like that, right? I'm sure you can immediately, all of these sort of people, you can have relate each behavior and feeling and emotion to people in your lives right now. So yeah, I'm sure you've got a friend who's always moaning. I'm sure you got a friend who's always very cheerful. You got one who's always negative, always the one who is too intense, the one that has no boundaries whatsoever, the one that's always in your face, and the one who's very intrusive, ask you all these personal questions. Now, why would spirit not be different? Okay, because spirit are like us. They really are us, because we are in the essence incarnate, which is the living. They are discarnate, which means they're deceased. So we have a physical body and continuing the physical life, whereas theirs have the physical side of their life has ended. However, they're still able to communicate, and they still have this live in a parallel universe in a way, and occasionally they have this opportunity to communicate and step into our realm. So when they see somebody that is has an ability, has a gift, to be able to communicate with spirits, or to be psychically be able to link with their intuition, they will then go, oh my God, you have to, they want to help you. They want to help you acknowledge your spirituality, to perhaps step forward and to learn, to develop, to learn how to communicate with spirits. They want you to step into your power. So I know this happened with me when I was in 2013. I had a fall, and I broke fractured one of my breastbones, and then I had an operation in my knee. So I was about probably 12, 13 months at home. And I'd never been, so I was always a very, very busy person. And I was always on the go. I was never alone. And suddenly I was alone in the house. I started hearing voices. Things were happening. Could hear my dad. My grandmother kept coming in my dreams. I'm going like, oh my God, I'm going mad. And the activity in the house increased. There was always something was always happening. There was sounds, things being moving around. There was always something happening in the house. So once I started developing, all of these things stopped. They stopped, and then it became clearer to me that they were really part of my, they were really pushing me to do what I'm doing now, perhaps. But that doesn't mean that if you are spiritually aware, and you do any kind of development, it doesn't mean that you're going to turn into a psychic or a medium unless you want to. So that is another reason why there might be spirit activity, and that you might be seeing or sensing a lot more. Now, there's another big reason why spirit might be in the house, because they feel that they can help you with an issue. You haven't considered that, have you? That spirit might be in the house because they feel that they can help you with an issue or with a problem, something going around in the house. Now, for example, for the years that I've been a medium, I've also been going around and helping people when there's lots of spirit activity at home. And I call it, house cleansing. But then I hate using that word, because then people think that I'm going to turn up with a mop and a duster, to clean the house. No, not house cleaning, but house cleansing the energy, and perhaps even sort of cleansing the spirit activity. Now, I remember going to a house where this is how it works. I don't ask them for any information. Like all of my work, I don't ask for information. And I just turn up with with my equipment. I'll show you later some of the things, and paper and pen, or the house owner will probably be writing things down as I speak. And what I would do is I tune into the spirits in the house, and I would then tell them, so this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm sensing, this is what they're saying, this is where I'm drawn. So I'll walk around the house, all around the house, and then in this instance, in this example, I remember being in this house, and I went up to this room, and it was a kid or teenager's room, and I just said immediate drawn to sit in the bed. And what I felt is that the child in that room, there was a male a certain age, and I felt that this child was being bullied at school. There was a little bit of learning difficulties. He was going through a really difficult time. But then I also felt the energy and the spirit of so this what I've just said is of the boy that lived in that room, the room that belonged to the boy. Now then I was able to tap into the spirit that was in the room, and this was a younger boy, who felt I felt was in that in that room quite often, connecting with the boy. And I was and I was saying all these things. And the house owner, the mum was like, her face was draining of color because she was going, oh my God, you've just described my son, and you've just described the spirit that he's been seeing in this room. So that was quite freaky. And then I got this understanding of the reason why this boy was in the room and why he was connecting with this boy. And it was because this boy, he had passed in a traffic accident, a little accident in the neighborhood a couple of years before. However, he had sensed this boy and needed help, and he took a liking to him, and he was seeing what the boy was going through, and he was coming to visit him or being with him. It felt like he said he wanted to help him. Even though he was a bit younger. He felt like he wanted to help him, and I felt it was more about inspiring him and giving him a bit of a support. All right. Now the other and I thought it was so beautiful, and I think for the mum that was a fantastic validation, first of all, that that I don't think she kind of suspected he was being bullied, but the fact that I come in and have absolutely no knowledge about the house or about the spirit or what's going on, to validate that thought that she had about him, because he wasn't really vocal about his school life, that really helped. And then to know the comfort that there's this little boy in spirit that was actually there to looking after him and giving him the support was really for her, it calmed her a little bit, and I believe it really helped her in that sense. The other example that I can give you is, I remember doing a big cleansing, this big house, and it was actually the house owner, the man that I'm not sure whether he built the house, but he definitely lived in that house for many years, and he had a sense of ownership of the house, and he was always seen outside, standing outside and smoking, so the lady that lived there, she can see spirit, so she'd say like, I have this man, and it's like we've seen sort of all of us have sort of seen somebody outside, but I've seen him. And but when I went in, I obviously didn't know all of this, and I said, oh, I can see this man, leather jacket, he's smoking, and he's talking about the fence, and he's talking about there's an excess, and it turns out yes, there's a problem with the fence, and there's a little gap that where a little stream where people could actually come into the house, and he really wanted to say that he was protecting the house. And again, that was a big comfort, to also know that the previous owner, I mean, he wasn't there to do any harm, and it was just to protect. So they sometimes may not be related, or they may not even have any ownership on your house, like the little boy, but then they might resonate with your soul. And they feel, oh, okay, maybe I can help this person in some shape or form. So that's why they might be in your house or with you. Now, the other most important one. Just give me a second. Let me just everyone's looking for the link. I know, this is typical, isn't it? Because when I'm trying to do something live, I'm on live. I can't do much about can't do much about anything, and everyone's like, where are you, Angela? We can't find you. Let me just give somebody a link. I did post a link there, but yeah, can somebody put a link to this video to on the both the event but also the post that I've posted on Facebook, which gives you the link. I can't seem to edit that link at the moment. It's definitely one of those days, isn't it? Just, I'm not usually this flustered, but it just feels a bit like, oh my goodness, where is Angela? Oh dear. Okay. I'm just, all right. Okay. So very quickly. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm just trying to post. Just do put your questions on there so that I can give you a very quick answer if possible, about anything that you might be experiencing and things that you are a bit not very sure about, that I can sort of help answer. Not all, obviously everyone's experiences are different and everyone's got different thoughts about spirit, all of those things. And some are very sort of negative and some can be very positive. It's all about also our perception of spirits as well. Okay. I can't see many, I can't see the comments. So can someone leave me a comment below so that I can actually see if comments are working as well? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, thank you, Mark. That is so kind of you. Honestly. Oh, one of those days. Anyway, so the big reason why you may have spirit in your house is because your loved one wants to connect with you. Think about it. Think about it. They're trying to get your attention because, when somebody passes away, and I'm sure we all have somebody that has passed, the first thought is you miss them. You miss them. I miss my mom. I miss my husband, wife, child, grandparents, etc., or pets. So the main reason they would be in your house, or or you sense them around you, is because they love you. It's your loved ones. You have a connection. They miss you. Okay. And hi, Hans. So they miss you. Therefore, they are drawn by your love and your grief. When they see you crying and missing them, they will then come and want to comfort you. They also want to get your attention, because a lot of people I know will probably say, oh, please give me a sign, please. I cannot tell you how many times where somebody said to me, they'll say, oh, please give me a sign, and the moment they do, they freak out. This is what happens during our paranormal investigations, because lots of people will be like, oh yeah, I want spirit to do this. Yes, hope it'll be a good night. Hope spirit will move the glass. Maybe they'll make sounds. Maybe they'll do this and do that, etc. Something happens and they all freak out. they scatter like cockroaches, because it's like, oh my god, and I always have to laugh, because I'm going like, when you ask spirit to do something and then now it's demonic and evil. No, because you ask them to give you a sign, to communicate. So so that's something to it always makes me laugh when this all things happen. So we think about what sort of sign, what are you asking your loved ones, and also think about why they might be why you might be seeing certain things. For example, the number of times I've been to somebody's house and they said, oh, afterwards, when I've said this spirit here, etc., and they'll say, oh god, my child has been seeing, every time wakes up and he sees this person standing, don't know who it is. The number of times where that person turns out to be a grandparent, a grandfather, or or uncle, or it's somebody connected to you. So before we dismiss spirit and suggest that they're demonic or evil, or they're possessing, or they are this or that, go back and think, well, okay, there's a man. Okay, right. Okay. What, if you have a child, try to get a description. Show them pictures. Show them pictures of people that have passed, and say, does this look like this person? Look at the description. So if you've got two grandfathers in spirit, one is very tall and lean, and the other one is a bit portly with a mustache, and your child says, well, oh, okay, I don't know, he was a bit, oh yeah, he was a bit, he had a mustache, and he was a bit short, and he was a bit, he looked like you, Dad. Okay. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, that, all right, okay, that might be this grandfather. All right, okay, so we know it's this grandfather. And then show the picture and say, right, okay, do you recognize this person? And I'm sure very, very likely they'll say, well, oh, okay, that looks like somebody that I seen. Now I'll tell you, when I was a child, so I've said that I saw spirit when I was about 9 years old. Now, for many years, like as a toddler, my memories go back really, really, even to the court. I have a memory of me in the court. But I always remembered there were faces that would be looking down at me that were not my parents. And there was always this lady who looked down at me, and I thought, okay, she, I recognize her. So throughout, as I was growing up, I recognized this lady in my dreams, or my sort of awareness at night. Now, it wasn't until a couple of years later, when I was slightly older, where I was flipping around a photo album. Now, I didn't know, I'd not seen this photo album before, because I think this photo, like, my mum just had it somewhere else. I'd never seen it before. Anyway, she brought it out and we were clearing, and she showed me. She said, oh, this is my mum. And I was going like, oh, okay, this is the lady that I've seen all my life. Like, where is she? She said, well, she died a year after you were born. In fact, she died on November 30th, 1972, and I was born in November 29, 1971. So I was like, oh, okay, that's a bit strange. Like, but I've seen her for maybe, like years in the 70s to 80s, like, and we couldn't, I remember that a glimpse of that conversation, and nothing happened. But it did occur to me afterwards that now that, yes, I had been seeing my grandmother, even though she had passed away, like, years ago. Now, but then to relate that to a picture and say, right, oh, okay, so I know who it is. That is important. So always try to sort of go back and say to basics and say, well, okay, is this person related to me? Then it makes sense. It takes away all the fear. It takes away all that sort of negativity that goes around spirits in the home. And that's the main sort of gist of it, really. Why you might have spirit in your home. One, because of the land. You might have something in the house that perhaps occurred in the house in the past. Someone in the house has spiritual ability in some way, so they can see, they can sense your spirit they're attracted by the fact that that somehow they can communicate with you, so they want, perhaps they even want to help you because they feel they can help you with a situation they're going through. For example, if you were for example, if you were going through a difficult time in the relationship, and you have your mother coming in, coming in to give you a bit of comfort, because that's something that she would have done anyway, would have done if she was alive. And then obviously the fifth one is that the loved ones who have passed away, the deceased loved ones, coming back to visit, to show you signs, to get your attention, going like, Angela, I'm here. Why are you not joining the dots together to see that joining the dots to see that I am here? So that's really, really what they're trying to do. Oh, hi, Joanna. Hello. I'm so sorry. I had issues with issues with my streaming link, so I had to come on with a different link, and I didn't have enough time to share it all out. Right. Okay. Ethan. Angie, your house is haunted. I wouldn't say my house is haunted. It just has a lot of spirits in. But then I am a medium, so they are attracted by that. Now, just a sec. It is so hot in here. So what do you do? What do you do if you're not comfortable with spirits in your house? I mean, despite everything, even if it's your mother, father, or pet, dog or iguana that's coming back to visit you. Yeah, you're laughing at the pet iguana, but animals do come to visit. They're attracted again by love. Now, there's one thing that is important to acknowledge and also discuss is the fact that that spirits are essentially they are attracted by love. Very often, again, it's all about it's relatives. They want to help if you're going through a good time, a bad time, and spirits don't always necessarily have to be demonic or evil. This is a lot of things that has been put into our head because of Hollywood and horror sells. So people like getting scared. So people pay money to get scared, to watch a film or be put in a position. We do like that little bit of a rush when of the unknown. But spirits can be just like people. As I said, they can be very intense and overwhelming. And some spirits do not have they don't know anything about boundaries. So they will be like, oh my God, oh, she can see me, and boom, they want to come. They just want to, it's like, I think it was lost in translation. I think that film with Bill Murray, and I think he was an American expat in Japan, and there was no one who spoke English around him, so he was very confused. And when he sees one person who speaks English, and he goes, "Oh my God," So that's kind of like how spirits are, and they sometimes don't know how strong their energy can be. They don't know. Maybe they're not really aware of the kind of communication tools that they have, and they just bounce up at you and immediately just come at you. But it's not from my experience as a medium, it's not from an evil place. It's usually just because they're just being stupid sometimes. Okay. Now the thing is, if you are comfortable with spirit being in your house, okay, then you can try to connect with them. And try to find out what do you want? What messages do you have for me? Now, one of the things that you can do, okay, one of the things you can do is create time and space for spirit to do this. That shows respect. That shows that you are willing to communicate, but then telling them that there's a right time and place for this. Okay. And it's kind of making an appointment in spirit, saying, if you've already said, right, okay, I'm going to be on Sunday night, Sunday evening at 6 o'clock. I am going to sit, I'm going to connect with you, spirit. Okay, so you're telling them, so right, okay, this is the appointment, so keep the noise level down until then. Okay, so and then you're creating time, and I feel that as with anyone or everything, we should show respect. So what you can do is make sure that you are, you can do it as as a family, with friends, anybody in the house, or you can just do it on your own if you want. And I know not everyone necessarily believe in spirits or want to connect with them. So if it feels right for you, you go ahead and do it. Okay. So creating time and space. And make sure that you have pen and paper, and tell you why. Then basically you sit, you can, what I like to do is I like to clear the energy around me when I do things like this. So I use something called Californian white sage, and I'm using the leaves because I don't like the wand, because the wand, you can get this, it looks very nice little wands, they wrap, they basically get the stalks with lots of leaves and quite a big bundle, and they wrap it around with string. But what the problem is that once sage burns very easily, so once you light it, then it starts, you burn too much, it gets too smoky, and you've burned like 5 pounds worth of sage in 20 minutes. So I get this from a place in my supply in America, actually. So I get the leaves, and I just burn the leaves in my beautiful fire pot. I always like showing off my fire pot. So I've got all this sort of, I paint it myself. I always buy just normal little pottery, clay bowls like this. You can get this at in most Indian shops, Asian grocery shops. And I'm very conservative in my sage, because once you light it up, it gets really smoky really fast. So I like to burn like one leaf, and then if it's not enough, I put a few. I keep adding so I don't waste. So basically, you want Californian white sage, and you want a nice fireproof pot bowl like this. Painting it is optional. Now, what I like to do is I just light it up, maybe use a feather or just use your hands, doesn't matter. And you just sort of clearing the energy all around you. Okay. You close your eyes. So this is what you do. You close your eyes, breathe in and breathe out. So you'd sit on your bed, sit in a chair, sit on the floor, anything you want. If you don't have sage, you can burn some incense or whatever. Close your eyes and you breathe in and out, in and out, until you feel a bit of calmness within yourself, within your body. And with your eyes closed, you just visualize being surrounded by white light, beautiful white light. You visualize. It takes a while if you've got a very busy mind. It will take a while for you to do this, but very, very simple, easy exercise for you to do. And basically visualize this light going all around you, so that you feel the energy and you feel a nice glow about you, around you. And then you feel your feet, almost visualize like there's a hook coming from the center of your body, center of your chest, going down, hooking down to the ground. So you feel yourself anchored. Okay. And you could rock yourself back and forth, and you feel like you're anchored to the ground. And then as you sit in this space and this energy that you've created around you, you welcome spirit, knowing that at any time, if you feel yourself uncomfortable, if you feel uneasy, you don't feel good, that you only need to rub your feet on the ground to bring yourself back, that you are safe, that you are anchored. Then you say, I welcome spirit. I welcome you, spirit. If you feel a connection, say you feel it's your mom or somebody that you know, then you can call them by name. You say, Mom or Dad, please come and sit with me. But then keep a safe distance. Now, this tells them that you're happy for them to come close to you and connect with you, but you want a safe distance. So you're asking spirit to socially distance from you. Okay, so you want spirit to socially distance themselves from you. Okay, now for me, I'm obviously very confident and confident and I have no fear of spirits. Therefore, spirit can come very close. They blend. They don't actually possess. Contrary to popular theories and whatever, spirit don't actually possess you that in any way. They actually come. They blend with your energy. Now the problem is they vibrate. Their energy vibrates at a higher speed than us. So if you've got very clogged, all your chakras are clogged, everything, you're not, you've got low energy. So it's signs, you got low energy, high energy impact. All right. So you might feel very tingly, you might feel very sudden, sudden temperature dropping, you feel very cold in one area, you might feel very goosebumps, you might feel, woo, do all these funny, weird things to your body. So it is typical of when energy is a reaction to their energy. But what you're asking them is, your message to them really is to say, look, I am happy to connect with you, but just keep a safe distance because I'm not ready to be that close to you. And you can say to them, let me see, hear, or sense you. Let me feel you. Let me sense who you are. Come and communicate with me. But as I said, safely. And you sit as long as you wish. Sit as long as you wish. But there's no need for more than, say, 10 minutes, perhaps. You don't have to sit there for an hour with your eyes rolling around. You just need about 10 minutes to do this. You don't need to do, you can just start small. You just start 5-10 minutes. Right? Okay, I don't feel anything. Cool, great. Okay, and then try the next time. That is if you want to. You don't have to. But if you want to, this is one of the ways to connect with them. This is the easiest way. So you don't need a seance. You don't need anything more. No, you don't need big gestures for that. Now, if you're not comfortable and you want, if you want to clear the energy in your house, you want to basically say like, okay, adios, time to go. You want to basically have sort of settle back into your own energies. Then you can do this. You can do what again, going back, this is what you need. You need your sage. You need your sage. Again, sage. And what you want to do is you want to clear the energy, and sage, white Californian sage particularly, not the sage in your cooking. This particular sage has a very very beautiful energy and smell, and also it's just something that's been used in rituals for a very long time, and it can be wonderful to clear the energy. I know that I love sage, and I know the difference when energy in the house gets very heavy and difficult and so on, then I do this, and it's like I can immediately feel the change straight away. So for me, it's about what I feel and what I believe in that I would share with people. So get yourself some Californian white sage. You can get it on Amazon if you want. I mean, obviously, better the quality, better the more sustainability so, the producers are, the better, all of those things. But if it's difficult to get, then just get it wherever you can. Now you want to use this to smudge your house, and you can also use frankincense resins on charcoal. Actually, I used to do this when I was a kid. I had the task of putting the charcoals on the fire, and when it turns white, then put it in a bowl like this, and then I'll drop the resin, and immediately, the smoke would just come out. It's fantastic. I love it. I love the smell of it as well. And in Malaysia, you got something called sambrani, which is I think it's a mixture of different herbs and spices. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but these days you can just literally light up a little disc, and it does the same job. You can also use things like incense, bunch of incense lighted together. Incense, which is you can get sage, you can get frankincense, myrrh, you can get all sorts of different stuff, scents in sage. But my recommendation would be using Californian white sage or frankincense. Those are the big ones that I use and I believe in. Now, you can smudge the house by basically what you do is you start at the front of your house, go to the front door. You need a fireproof bowl like this. You should have a tray where you can put the sage in a little just a couple of leaves, a candle, okay, sturdy candle that's fixed on the plate, and you light it up, and a feather, or you can use feather. If not, you can just use your hand. But basically, start at the front of the front door, and you go all around the house, and then you come back to the front. Okay, so you go back to where you started, and that's the basically the sort of way you do it. Now, as you go, you open all the windows first of all, okay, and then turn off your smoke alarm, because I did it without doing it. Oh my god, it started screeching all over the house. It's horrendous. Put on some calming music, so something like a nice chant, for example. You can go to a YouTube site, a channel called Meditative Mind. I'll put that link here afterwards, where you can just choose whatever music just makes you feel comfortable, and then just having that nice setting that scene, creating space and time. Now, whatever your beliefs are, you can bring the source. If you believe in Allah, if you believe in Hindu gods, if you are a Catholic, or if you are spiritual, whatever, you're open, then you could say Archangel Michael, call on Archangel Michael, call on the angels. Angels tend to be universal. Everyone likes angels. So I'll say Archangel Michael. So you could stand at the door, the front of the door, inside the door, not outside. Otherwise, your neighbors be like, what are you doing? With the tray, and you just close your eyes for a moment, and you call on Archangel Michael or any source, and then you could say, protect and guide me. Archangel Michael, please come and protect and guide me. Now, this is really to help you feel grounded and to feel calm. And start saging, just holding that imagery, that visualization in your mind. Go around the house and just speak to the spirit. Say, Spirit, please go into go away from the house. I'm not comfortable with you in my space, whatever way you want to phrase it. Okay. But mostly it's about to calling on the source, calling on to Archangel Michael, or anybody that source, as in a god, a deity, or anybody that you feel will protect you. Okay. Now, and that's just really for you to feel calm. I mean, if you are jumpy and and terrified, then that's not going to be useful. And you start saging from the front door, go around the house, asking spirit to leave. And that's basically what you basically want to do. And that kind of helps you. You will sense a change in how you feel about the house. Okay. Now, another thing that you can do is that you can, if you like crystals, you can get black tourmaline, which is quite a powerful crystal that helps with negative energy, and it kind of it takes away negativity and brings you positivity. Now, this can be quite useful even for for generally for you, because then it kind of helps you sort of deflect negative energy and brings on more positive energy in your life. But then it also releases you from ties and connections, to habits, all of that. So quite a useful crystal in many aspects. So not just for spiritual, to protect you against spirits, but also to protect you in many ways and to help you in your life generally. Now, this is what you can do. You can, if there is a particular room that is that you have a lot of activity in, for example, maybe the living room is often you see things happening, or perhaps the bedroom, you can't sleep at night. Now, what I would suggest is getting tumble stones. So you don't need to go buy yourself a gigantic crystal. Bigger isn't better. You get 4 tumble crystals, and you can get them really cheaply but just make sure that they're coming from a solid source, because there's a lot of crystals, fakes in crystals these days, where it's just it's not natural, and a lot of things are just a glass that's been painted or been manipulated in a way to look in a certain way. So take 4 pieces of this crystal and you put it in 4 corners of that room. Okay, 4 corners of that room. So that will be quite, that will kind of tell spirits that, okay, this is, they basically telling them, like, you're not really welcome. Okay, it's like when you want your guests to leave your party, you take away the food and the alcohol. All right. The other crystal that you can use is fluorite. Now, fluorite means in Latin, it actually means flow, and or the creating that flow or a flux. It's quite a colorful crystal. I don't actually have any with me. I actually gave it away. It has a lot of, it's been said that it has a lot of mind, body, spirit connection, and it helps with the mind. It really helps with the mind. So it contains also said to contain a lot of protective powers that can help in many situations. But because it helps with the mind, it also helps a little bit with the sleep and the calm. So how I would use this is I would, and it's the flow of the mind that we are speaking about. So what you can do is put it, again, you don't need to buy a humongous 15 kilo crystal, okay, unless you want to and you have space for it. You can literally just get a small piece or just a tumble stone. And what I would do is I would just put it in a little organza bag. I used to have one here and I don't know where it is. You put a little organza bag, and put it inside your pillow. put it inside your pillow so that you don't lose it, and it's only when you change your pillowcase that you then you see it, then just put it in the new one. What it will do is that it work while you sleep, so that's a good crystal to keep in your pillowcase. I have rose quartz, amethyst sometimes, and I have a collection, it always changes. So I always, what I do with crystals is that I always tend to feel their energy and then decide whether it matches how I feel right now. So I might I might change my I might change the crystals whenever I feel like I need to. So I go with what I feel and I sense. And that's the way I kind of buy crystals as well. Like I usually don't buy crystals from for the crystals that I'm going to use personally. I tend to buy it by feeling it. So if I feel like it's too cool, then no, that's not working with me. And then it gets hot in my hands, like, right, okay, I know you're connecting with me. But these two crystals, so the first crystal, black tourmaline, that goes in like a grid, the four corners of your room to help and to sort of ease down the activity in your house. And then the fluorite is very good to be in your bedroom to help you with your sleep and also to give you sort of help with the flow and the focus of the mind. So very useful crystals. Now I'm just looking at comments now, so I'm just going to post the crystals that I'm talking about. So fluorite. Problem with live chat is that it doesn't seem to it doesn't always you can't really respond after after the live. So I learned that in my previous live. So black tourmaline, those are the two crystals that can help. Okay, so now I'm open to questions now. So if you have any questions about anything that I've said or anything that's happening at home, then please comment now. Okay. Fantastic. All right. Okay. Ethan Vishal. More actually, my house before all things was moving. My walkie-talkie is making strange noises. I'm from Malaysia. Hi, Ethan. Okay. My Indian God sticker dropped from the door. Okay. All right. This is the thing. Sometimes people say about stuff like, like a God picture dropping or a crystal breaking. Like if you have a crystal bracelet and it breaks and so on. It's not always necessarily bad. It might just mean that perhaps their use or their journey with you has ended. For example, like with crystals, if you're wearing crystal jewelry and it just breaks, then it basically has absorbed all your energy and it's done it's served its purpose. Okay. Hans Angel, do we have to move clockwise or anti-clockwise? I'll say clockwise, but you see, like from my house, and I think about my house, my front door, and I just go up the stairs, go all around and come back. So it's sort of like you go in a big circle and come back the same spot. Okay. Now another thing, so if you have crystals at home and you want to re-energize them, like when like for example the fluoride and the rose quartz or anything that you have in your pillow, etc. There are two ways that you can energize them. Now re-energize them, because they will contain a lot of your energy. So there's one point where you will feel that you feel like, okay, oops, it gets, that's just, it feels very heavy. It feels very heavy. So then you go like, oh, okay. So you have to kind of feel it. And so, oh, okay. Or if your dreams, suddenly starts getting very dark or very, very complicated, then you say, right, okay, take out the crystals. You full moons are a good time for you to re-energize. So you basically put them in a bit of water, put them outside, or in a window facing the moon. Okay, that's really good. And I always post it on my what you call it, on my Facebook page as well, and I think the link should be under description. You can alternatively also have, this is a piece of selenite crystal. Now this is very, very fragile. Can you see how the shards in there are so flimsy? This is soluble, so you never put it in water. Okay, if you put it in water, the next day all you find is just tiny little crystals in there. It will melt. So you can see it's just, and it's quite sharp as well. There's one time a couple of years ago, and I did a workshop and I wanted to give everyone like a small piece, and I tried to cut it and sand it down. Oh my god, my hands were just full of tiny little pieces, because this is so fragile. But this transmutes energy, and what it does is that it sort of regulates the energy. It will basically, the crystals, if you just put a small piece alongside the other crystals in your pillow, it will just keep energizing, clearing the energy. So it's a great way to keep it always balanced. Okay, now, so those who are slightly more interested in paranormal stuff, okay, hold on, I've just got Ethan, can you use a Ouija board? Not really. I don't really use the board. I mean, I've used it once. Actually, my friend Mark over there, Mark, and it's just a normal. It's another way of communicating with them. It's physically allowing them to use our energy to move the planchette to yes, no, A, B, C, spell my name, etc. Now, sometimes it can get very frustrating for them, because what happens is you get more than one spirit and they're all trying to chatter, all want to answer a question, and then you say, oh, it's going in a funny way, so it's just another way. But remember that the board was actually initially created by by a games company, and it's just another way of communicating. But again, this is another thing that Hollywood has destroyed, because they made a film about it, and everybody's like, oh my god, spirit's going to jump out and do this and do that. And then what happens is that, from my experience, is that then anything that bad happens afterwards, like someone passed away, etc. Oh my god, we did a seance with the board and Ouija board, and oh my god, this happened, the spirit jumped out and killed my father, mother, cat, dog, whatever. So again, we ask for signs, we ask for, and then people get surprised when they feel something, or they sense, or the planchette answers a question, so or whatever, and then people get really oh my god, and I'm going, yeah, but you asked spirit to communicate with you. Or people ask stupid questions. When will I die? Is one of us going to pass? Is someone going to die in this room? They ask really stupid questions. Don't ask questions that you don't want answered. Ask questions like, what's your name, or spell your name. When did you live? When did you die? So if you're curious about spirit and you want to know more about them, use that, or table tipping, or glass divination, where you have a little table and you put yes and no, and then you take a glass, an empty glass, and you turn it around, put like a battery operated little tea light in there, and you all put just put your fingers just at the edge, the tip of the glass, and then you say, spirit, can you spell your name, for example, and then you say, are you male, and then it moves to a yes. and you can test it, okay, are you female? And if it moves to yes, then it's playing with you. So you can get questions, you can answer there. We do that quite a lot with paranormal events as well, because it's quite interesting when when I am connecting to spirit, I'm saying this, I'm saying that, but then you have an opportunity to communicate and see that communication yourself, because there's no one else, there's no other intervention, the organizers are not involved in it. Now I'm going to show you another way. Okay. I So this is a K2 meter. Okay, this is a K2 meter, and Mark knows fully well knows about this. Now, I do. So when I first, you see this very bad sticker there, it's so old. So I am a paranormal investigator, medium, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what consultant, whatever, with Fright Nights. And Mark over here is the one of the owners of Fright Nights in the UK. And when I first started, Mark's wife gave me one of these because for before that, all the tools I've ever had or anything that I use, it's always been here. So everything is within me, and I'm trying to explain what I'm seeing, I'm sensing, all of those things. And then suddenly I started seeing this. They brought this during one of the seances. And then what I noticed is that when I was saying something, and then I kept getting validation from here. So you see the lights that you got. Okay. So when I started, it self-tests. So it goes all the way. So this is the colors here. So you got from green to red, or blue, turquoise to red. And most of the time it goes to this sort of test resting state, which is just one light. So for example, say, is there any spirit in this room? Okay, and then you might get a flash. I say, is your name Michael? And then you get, so when I'm doing my seance, we used to have like a couple around the room. So when I remember doing this, we had lots of child spirits in this building, and this kept, and I noticed how it was interacting with everything I was saying. And then when I stopped, it stopped. For me, it was fabulous, because I'm thinking like, oh my God, people can visually see the response from spirit. The only thing is that, obviously, if you have a phone, for example, close to a phone, it can sort of, I don't know why it's not doing it now, but yeah, well, hit it. Let's see. Okay, a phone can actually sort of trigger those lights, but then when you have nothing in, close by, and then when it starts flashing, it is very interesting. Let's just ask if there's spirit here. Is there any spirit in this room? Is there any spirit? Has spirit joined us? It never works, does it, Mark, when we're trying to film it or trying to prompt it? It's always like that, be like flashing away. Now this is the thing here, is that since my mom passed, I've actually been I sometimes switch this on just for fun, and she's actually learned, my mother in spirit has actually learned how to use this. So I would say something like, Amma, are you here? How are you doing? And then she would respond by the lights going, and sometimes she even go up all the way to red as well, especially when she's very assertive and she wants to say something, but obviously I'm filming this now, and then it's definitely not wanting to play ball. Okay, but if you can get this for, I don't know, £20 or something like that, from from Amazon or eBay or whatever it is, and it's probably a lot cheaper than before. But anyway, Mark's wife got this for me because I was so intrigued. I was like, wow, this is so exciting. So this is like my personal one, but this is quite 4 years old at least. But you could get this, and you can leave it, on, for example, like, if this activity, for example, and then you can use this to communicate if you want. If you don't want to sit, you don't want to do all of those things, you can just say, right, okay, spirit, is there spirit in the room? If there's spirit, can you go to can you go to this light? Can you make the light move to yellow or green? Spirit, and don't forget to thank them, because we must show respect to them when they do something that we ask them to do. So you always say, are you male? Are you male? And then leave a little bit of time to the next question. You can't say, are you male? Are you female? How are they supposed to answer? So if they say, if it flashes, then you don't know whether it's male, whether they agreed to the fact that they're male or female. So say, spirit, are you a woman? And then you wait for maybe count 5 in your mind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, are you a man? If we wait another 5, okay. So you don't want to answer. Okay, are you a child? Are you, so you can ask a lot of questions about the spirit in your house, and you can get to know them in a way. So if you are not scared, if you want them to go, you don't want them to be in your house, in your space, then you can do the smudging, as I said, and you can also have those crystals, use those crystals to just sort of ring fence that energy, and they kind of sends them the message that, okay, I don't want you here. Okay, I'm not open or ready to listen to your to have you in my space, or to listen to all the things that you are doing in the house. So that's the other way that you can do. But anyway, so any other questions? Otherwise, I'm almost done. I think. Can't believe it's been doing it for an hour now. As I said, it's just been such a funny day, because it's like I'm so organized, had all the links, everything was supposed to go online, and then boom, just went off. Any other questions? Right, okay. What? Camera shy. Yeah, spirits can be camera shy. I mean, there's so many times where we have been doing fantastic stuff, doing all our evidence, etc. And then the moment we bring out a camera, boom, gone, quiet. Okay. Well, thank you so much for everyone for joining me, and you can still use this link and share out, and let everyone view this recording, because it's going to be it is recording, and it will be live for you to watch. Will be available for replay as well. So, and continue, please do leave comments, and let me know if you have any issues with stuff happening at home. I will try to respond and to give you some help or advice if I can. And if you have any questions about any of the things that I've said, please just ask, and I will respond to you as well. And I will update the description with a little bit more information. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching me. And I'm so sorry about the mix up with the link. Okay, so happy Sunday, and bye.